Treespear is a special tool in the video game called Elden Ring for Xbox. It makes you feel good at the game because it doesn't have an Ash of War. It's extra long, made of wood, requires grease for maximum performance.
Flawless victory.
Treespear is a very unique weapon. It has one of the longest hitboxes in the game that gives you wicked phantom range. It has generous hyper armor, especially on the R2s. High poise breaking numbers to knock Millennials on their keister. And many of the attacks have anti-air opportunities. And all around, it's a very diverse moveset. You have access to quality moves with the crouch attack, both jump attacks, running R1, and neutral R1. The R2 is unique to this weapon and creates interesting roll catch opportunities and gives the weapon a powerful feeling where if your opponent chooses to roll around you, you can get possible hits from 4 different parts of the animation. The weapon has some tricky aspects. Of course, the hyper armor isn't colossal level, and if you like to free aim, you have to work for the connections on the thrust and hitboxes. I've been practicing it more, but targeting at the end of your free aim helps. The stats for Treespear are demanding, but dare I say they are worth the investment. This is on a faith build where I have appropriate stats for the Great Spear. The counter hits aren't as strong as on a pure dex build, but I still get around 800 AR when I have the Holy Grease. Treespear is a unique weapon in that it can be buffed by weapon grease even though it's somber. Usually the best option, as Steel has taught us, is to buff it with the Holy Grease. Split damage works so that it calculates the absorption and defense on each side of the split. So buffing the inherent elemental damage means more damage is getting through their defenses than from flat attack buffs. Sacred Order is trash anyway, don't accidentally press L2 5 times per game like I do. With the 1.09 buff to Sacred damage, this gives us some very nice damage overall. The Great Spear moveset has always been a classic, and the buffed hyper armor from 1.10 makes Treespear's strengths stand out even more. The charge R2 hyper armor is impressive, and can get through a colossal R1, assuming both players have equivalent poise. I'll put my source for these calculations in the description. Fundamentally, having a hyper armor tool is very important in this patch. Not only do you need to be able to trade with certain Ashes of War and other hyper armor weapons now, but the ability to have poise against small weapons makes having a weapon that has lengthy hyper armor animations with decent startup frames essential. All of its unique facets make the Treespear a great choice. I'm using it two-handed here, but did you know that as of 1.10 you can get hyper armor from Great Spears when they're in your offhand? Not as powerful of course, but this also makes for some interesting setups. We can stare at all the data in the world, but very few of us have the time or mental quickness to memorize tables and summon the calculations from memory in the midst of a deadly battle. So in this new phase of the game, all of us, and yes I do mean all of us, need to learn the new way the game feels. Picking a hyper armor weapon and running with it will let you learn the feel of the trades, the times you can win a trade and stun, the Ashes of War you can power through, and all around gives you a greater understanding of this patch, both when you're fighting with and fighting against hyper armor. The odds that they make another update that is this game-changing seem pretty slim after this one. This very well may be the way the game feels for the rest of its life cycle. So, if you already got good once, it's time to get good again. Enjoy these duels and happy stabbing!
Flawless victory. victory.